Hi, I'm Georgia Jean, and welcome to another episode of Deep Things Made Simple, where we look at a lot of very interesting spiritual, metaphysical, psychological, meditational, blah, blah, blah subjects, break it down in a very simple form so you can understand yourself a little better and maybe make some choices or changes that might make you feel happier and more joyous in your life. Well, that's the point, darling. So, today I'm going to talk about a subject: why inner kids are a pain in the neck. Okay, when I'm talking about inner kids, I'm talking about our inner children. Okay, and what you got to understand about this is about 88% of our behavior and our experience is actually controlled not by the conscious mind, not by the part of our mind that wants to be loved and be successful and be prosperous and be happy and be nice and be joyous, all that kind of stuff, but actually by the unconscious mind. That's 88% of our behavior, our thought programs, patterns, belief structures are actually embedded in the unconscious mind. And the crazy thing about this is that our unconscious mind is actually heavily programmed up to the age of 7. Okay, so what does this mean? This means we have a bunch of crazy inner children running around in our minds, controlling us and acting like they're right, driving our behavior, doing what they feel they know and understand as a way of coping through life. Because little inner children, just like children themselves, are actually very, very sensitive. They're very sensitive energetically and emotionally and mentally to their environment, which includes whatever's going on with their parents, whatever's going on with their siblings, whatever's going on with the bullies at school or the scary teachers, all that kind of stuff. It all goes into the unconscious mind, which is very open and in this sort of age range from 0 to 7, basically. And our inner children, because they're sensitive, they develop coping mechanisms to deal with emotion. So little kids, when something really intense is going on, like say parents are breaking up or there's a bully at school, whatever amount of emotion they can't process at the time because they're so intense, feelings of fear, feelings of deep grief, a lot of those primitive emotions that we talk about as well, very inner children-y, they actually learn how to suppress and they develop coping mechanisms that actually last throughout a lifetime. So what this actually means is that you as an adult are still using coping mechanisms developed by this guy, okay, this 4-year-old, okay? And so it's such a powerful experience that the unconscious mind actually will withhold oxygen from certain parts of the body to create physical pain in that body. So you are distracted by the emotional pain you're actually feeling, okay? How crazy is that? That is a coping mechanism of a 7-year-old child. Like, parents are breaking up. It's just way too scary. I'm going to bury this into my body. I can't feel all this fear and this grief and this terror right now, or this anger, whatever it is. So I'm going to bury it into my body and create physical pain instead, because that in some way is just easier to deal with. And you may not experience this suppression activity in your childhood. It may pop out years later. And what actually happens on an energetic level is that you can ignore issues on a mental level. You can ignore your emotions and your feelings about things. But once pain starts manifesting in the body, it gets harder and harder to ignore. And what that is actually now is those same little inner children going, hello, we need help, we're really upset, we've got pain, we've got suffering, and it's been buried in our body, and now we want to come out, and we want to heal it, and we want to change it. Because now you're old enough, you're wise enough, you're strong enough, you're brave enough, you're big enough to feel that pain. Pain that felt like it was going to destroy you when you were like 3 years old or 4 years old or 5 years old or whatever it was. So if you're having some chronic physical pain in your body, you need to not only do the physical things that are good, and I'm an absolute believer in doing all levels of treatment, whether you choose a medical path, whether you choose yoga, all that kind of stuff. Go for it. Do what you need to do on a physical level, but remember that the inner kids, if you don't take care of the kids, they're going to continue to try and get your attention by creating pain or chaos or something else somewhere else in your body. And very often what happens, someone may get back surgery and it'll heal the pain in the back, but then they'll start having a gimpy neck or shoulder or something else. And really the essence of what is going on is pain, okay? It's pain. It's pain on a physical, mental, emotional level, but it's simply manifesting as pain. So one really great way for you to discover, because this stuff is so unconscious, you may not even know you have this pain. You may not even know that when you were 2 years old, you were traumatized by a scary burglar in the house or something like that. You may not, as an adult, be aware of this pain, this emotional pain that you're actually carrying in your body. But a way for you to discover, right, what this pain is about, what the emotional level of this pain is about, is to actually say to yourself, how does this pain make me feel? Like, how does having chronic back pain make me feel on an emotional level? And if you really sit with it, and instead of avoiding it and just taking painkillers and stuff like that, take a little time to sit with it and go into it and go, wow, I feel so powerless or angry, like I'm irritable, I've got this pain. This pain's causing me a lot of irritation. Guess what? Underneath irritation is usually a whole lot of rage energy, a whole lot of anger energy that couldn't be expressed at some point in your life because you felt powerless because of what was going on. I know it's deep stuff. So spend a little bit of time with yourself. Go ahead and do what physical treatments you need to do, but I guarantee you those physical treatments will be far more successful if you also address the hurt kids, because the hurt kids are the ones that have the charge. They're holding the charge that is unconsciously attracting or manifesting pain in your physical body. And you may have ignored the emotions through coping mechanisms, partying, worrying, doing all that sort of stuff. But once you're manifesting in the physical level, it starts getting harder and harder to ignore. So that's why our little inner kids are pains in the neck, because really, what do they want? They want your attention and they want your love and acceptance. So you got to go in there and love and accept them. And I have a fabulous exercise on my website. If you sign up for my mailing list, you'll get all sorts of great stuff, and you'll also receive this amazing love and acceptance exercise, which will teach you how to integrate your inner kids, as I talk about all the time, so they're like happy little kids. And then you can experience strong physical health. Be in your body, be happy. And do something to love yourselves today, dears.